This game has one ridiculously simple goal: become as fast as possible. You run, you gain speed, you earn wins, and you upgrade. So I wanted to find out just one thing. How fast can this monkey actually get? The concept is pretty simple. Every step makes you faster. The faster you get, the further you can make it through the course. Along the way, you have to get past different obstacles and reach the end of each stage. And when you finish, you earn wins. Those wins can be spent on upgrades, which make you even faster. So basically, the entire game is one giant cycle. Run, upgrade, run again. And I was about to spend way too much time doing exactly that. At the beginning, though, my speed was absolutely pathetic. I could barely get anywhere. But after a few runs, the numbers started going up. I bought my first upgrades and headed back onto the course, and immediately I could feel the difference. Obstacles that were slowing me down before were suddenly becoming much easier, which made me wonder, how quickly can this thing actually scale? That's when I realized this game isn't really about beating the course once. You have to keep coming back, get more speed, earn more wins, buy better upgrades, and then try again. So I started grinding. And surprisingly, it didn't take long before the first stage started feeling way too easy. Eventually, I reached the next stage, and this was where things finally started getting interesting. The obstacles were harder, the course was faster, and suddenly I couldn't just run through everything. I actually had to control my character. But that's also what made me want to keep going, because now I had a new question. How far can I actually get? And this is where the grind really begins. Run, farm, upgrade, repeat. On paper, that sounds incredibly boring. But there's one problem. The numbers keep getting bigger. Every upgrade makes me faster. Every faster run gives me more wins. And every new upgrade makes me want to see what happens next. So naturally, I kept going. And it actually paid off. After another round of upgrades, I could finally reach areas that were completely impossible for me before. New stages started opening up. The requirements got higher, the courses got faster, and at this point, my goal had changed. I wasn't just trying to beat the next stage anymore. I wanted to become fast enough that none of these obstacles could stop me. Of course, there was one small problem. To get that fast, I had to grind a lot. Run after run, upgrade after upgrade, over and over again. So I'm going to spare you from watching me do the exact same thing for several minutes. Here's the important part. After a few more upgrade cycles, everything started moving much faster. I was earning more wins, buying better upgrades, and getting through the course almost effortlessly. At the beginning, I had to carefully work my way through every obstacle. Now, I was basically flying through the map. And that's when the game started becoming genuinely addictive. By this point, my speed had increased massively, but the game wasn't going to let me stop there. The next areas required even more speed, which meant, more grinding. But then I noticed something that completely changed the way I was playing. There was another mechanic called Rebirth. Basically, you sacrifice your current progress in exchange for a stronger start on your next run. So I had a choice. I could keep grinding my current level, or reset everything and start the whole process again with a permanent advantage. And honestly, there was no way I wasn't going to try it. So I hit Rebirth, and just like that, I was basically back at the beginning, except this time I knew exactly what I was doing. The early levels that took forever before, I flew through them. A little running, a few upgrades, another run, and suddenly my speed was climbing again. Except now, it was happening much faster. And now things started getting ridiculous. The speed numbers were completely different from where I started. The stats that looked huge at the beginning now looked absolutely tiny. I kept upgrading, I kept unlocking new areas, and I kept pushing further into the map. At this point, I wasn't even sure where the limit was. So there was only one thing left to do: find out how fast I could really get. After all that grinding, I wanted to test the difference. No stopping, no unnecessary farming, just one straight run. And the difference from the beginning was insane. The same obstacles that slowed me down in the first few minutes were now disappearing behind me almost instantly. I went from barely making it through the course to absolutely flying across it. But somehow, the game still wasn't finished with me. There were still more upgrades, more stages, and even more speed. At this point, I could have stopped. I had already come ridiculously far. But then I opened the upgrade menu and realized I could still get faster. I could increase my level. I could do another rebirth. And obviously, I had to do one more cycle. And after all that, this is where I ended up. I went from barely being able to move through the first stage to running through multiple stages at ridiculous speeds. I upgraded, I farmed, I rebirthed, and then I did it all over again. And the funniest part? The game barely changes. You run, you get faster, you earn wins, you upgrade, and you run again. But somehow, every time you reach a new level, there's one question that keeps coming back. How fast can I actually get? Apparently, this monkey simulator is way more addictive than it has any right to be.